he was going the other way, and he said, he was asking us, is there any place to stay up ahead? I said, well, not really. It's all built up along the way. And then we decided, okay, we're just going to go and take this little side road, which obviously led to this village somewhere. And then we picked a spot in this orchard. There was all these orchards. And we picked a spot in an overgrown orchard, set up the tent, no one around. And we'd actually asked a couple of locals, can we camp in there? And they said, yeah, that's fine. And then sure enough, the landowner turns up. And he's given us a sign language, pointing to the land, saying this is, my land. And I said, we're just one night, we're sleeping, and then we're going again, next morning. And he seemed to be fine with that. So we all went to bed, about 8, 9 o'clock, as you do when you're camping. And 10 o'clock at night, all of a sudden there's these guys I can hear and torches going on. So, and then someone's saying, hello, hello. And so I get up in my pajamas and I'm going, I wonder what's going on. So I step out and there's all these policemen. There's about 6 policemen standing there with their torches going, what are you doing here? And then we go through the whole pantomime again and all the rest of it. But luckily they had a guy who could speak half decent English. And so we're toing and throwing, saying, we're cycling, we're just spending the night here, and then next morning we're moving on, we'll be out of here. And then, initially they was going, no, it's not safe here, you better pack up and come with us. And we're going, no, I've got 3 children, I don't want to wake them up, all the rest of it. And after about, half an hour, they eventually relented and said, okay, you can stay, but the next morning we'll come and get you. I said, yeah, that's fine. And so, we stayed, and then next morning they came along and then took us in a town, bought us breakfast.
Did you worry? Did you fall asleep? I would have stayed up all night going, what's dangerous here? What is it?
But when they said, we'll come and get you, did you think that was you're going to be under arrest?
No. Throw you in a cage?
No, not at all. No, we left on amicable terms, and they were just, I guess they were just concerned, that we're tourists here and in a country that, maybe something might happen, But, it never ever did, throughout the whole trip. And that particular night, I was definitely not concerned. We're in the middle of an orchard, there's no one around. Yeah. It's just, fantastic night and comfortable, and, we're all good, sure, we'll see you tomorrow.
There's another thing you made me think of. So if I stayed in Byron Bay on the weekend, it was schoolies weekend. Of all the weekends in the book somewhere, right? Yeah. And there's something can be said for the feeling in the air of places. I've lived in big cities and then came to, say, Currumbin Valley, where the feeling in the air is But isn't it funny to be in Currumbin Valley and then go to Byron Bay, which is equally as beautiful, but if you add a whole bunch of schoolies in there, and there was security guys arguing and dudes swearing every time we walked the corner, sort of hippie types that were, looked like they were looking for a bit of money, and on every other corner there's the guys with the gold chains selling drugs and this and that. There was this vibe in the air that was kind of nothing like
what you expect Byron Bay to be.
You can sort of feel danger or feel like, no, this isn't the place to be. But I can imagine if you're being in an orchard in the middle of somewhere, my fears that I'm trying to get from you are completely different in reality. When you're in a peaceful, quiet place, there's not a sound to be made. Where is the danger? I can't feel it.
Yeah, and I guess it was a little bit funny in Western China because the area that we travelled through was Uyghur country. It was, and because they're Islamic and Chinese have really stamped their influence onto that particular area of their country. And it was almost like 1984 in some places, because prior to that night that we camped, we got stopped at outside a large town by police saying, you can't go through this town. You're not allowed. And we're going, well, we'd just been through a police checkpoint the day before saying, we're heading here, and they said, yeah, go for it, and all the rest of it. But these guys said, no, you can't go through. And we're going, well, there's no other road. This is the only way. And again, like, you're saying we're on bicycles. We can't, we've got no choice, really. And again, got into that conversation, and eventually they relented and said, yeah, okay, you can go through, but we're going to escort you through this town. So the police in their cars are driving in front of us, and, we're doing our 15 kilometres an hour behind them. And eventually we get into this town, and then, we stopped and said, can we get something to eat? Because, we're hungry. So we had lunch, and then because after lunch, I guess they thought because we're Western, we're going to maybe stir up trouble, because there have been issues going on between the Uyghur and the Chinese people. So in that particular part of China, there's some Uyghur separatists, which the Chinese call terrorists. And the Uyghur separatists, all they want is their own country and, govern their own country and, live independently. Like, most people do. They don't want someone else to tell them what to do. But I always remember going through this, or coming up to this town, there's loudspeakers going, and, there's stuff being spoken in the Uyghur language. I don't know what it's saying, but we experienced it all the way through Western China. It's almost like, be on the lookout for the bad people and, just be careful and all the rest of it, which
that
then goes back to that orchard owner. Like, he comes across some strangers in his orchard and he's going, okay, well, that's fine, but I probably do need to call the police because
I've been warned.
Be on the lookout. I mean, I've got no doubt they're probably good people, but I'm going to call the police. And that's what he did. And, you go through these towns in the middle of the country, and there's like these CCTV cameras pointing at you and on the entry to exit the towns.
It was like 1984.
Well, just because you had these loudspeakers going, and
the movie 19 like the
okay, and you're under surveillance with these CCTV cameras.
Movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
okay, now I'm with you.
It's like, what's going on?
Not crop shirts and
yeah.
Because I was actually thinking the actual year
1984.
Sorry, yeah. So,
no, now I'm with you. Yeah, the George Orwell.
Wake me up before you go. Well. Okay, so
that
we're
is just. Sorry, Matty.
Right, sorry.
We're a bit dumb over here.
Okay.
All right, where we're at.
When you cross borders, so you're getting out of China now, I think, right? Into...
Yeah, so China, heading into Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that a border? Is it something that Aussies don't understand as well?
Yeah, no, there's a proper border there.
Okay,
and all
like
the rest
gates
of it.
and...
Yeah, the
we
weird
used
thing
to
about...
have those between Queensland and New South Wales.
Yeah,
kind of like that border.
I guess we got our little border
right,
grid
but do you have to show passports and crossing?
Oh, so
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
like a full border, like Europe.
Yep.
Yeah.
But China's a little bit weird because they won't let you cycle to the border, to the actual border. So about 100 kilometres before the border, you can't go anymore by bicycle. So you have to get a taxi or something like that. So basically you go through border control 100 kilometres before the border on the Chinese side, and then when you get to the actual border, then you go through Kyrgyzstan. Border control. So
what do you do with your bikes?
A
taxi?
Just
chuck them on the roof?
Chuck them on the roof racks. Huh. Yeah, chuck all our gear in, all the rest of it. And away
really?
you go. Yeah.
So they had roof racks that could actually fit.
Yeah.
Because how long are these things?
Yeah, they're about nearly 2 metres long. So, yeah, you need a bit of space. Yeah. But we learnt pretty quickly, if you had decent racks, you could just leave panniers on one side, put one bike down, and then put panniers on top and put another bike on top almost. So, yeah, it worked out all right.
Yeah.
We never really had any issues like moving the bikes around. So, yeah, that worked out all right.
Right, so you cross into the next country.
Yeah, into Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, so, it's an old...
Sorry to all those Kyrgyzstan listeners out there.
Heavy Russian influence, in the past.
Hang on, here's one for you. Hey, Google, what is the... how do I say it? Hey, Google, stop.
Hey, Google, stop.
My apologies, I don't understand.
Hey Google, what is the history of Kyrgyzstan?
According to Wikipedia, Soviet power was initially established in the region in 1918, and in 1924, the Karachirga Autonomous Oblast was created within the Russian SFSR.
There you go.
Bloody Putin coming over there. I don't know anything about it, obviously.
No, neither. But
So-
I do know that Mongolia and Russia have a close
Okay, so you...
something.
Mongolia. Well, they have a border. Mongolia and Russia have
Yeah.
a border. Yeah. So you could actually cross from Russia, or you could actually cross into Russia from Mongolia and vice versa.
Did you notice a change in the look of the people at this point?
Yeah, it's funny because the border was really a bit weird. It was sort of like this, like Western 70s, 80s town with these old, I don't know, have you ever seen those caravans? Like the old aluminium rounded edges?
Yeah.
But these things were probably
Aero.
3 times as long. And they'd all, once upon a time, been on wheels and, you could tow them along somewhere. But there was all these things just hanging outside the border, like restaurants and shops, little shops like that. So we crossed through the border and we had dinner in one of those. And then, there's nowhere to stay, so even if we wanted to. So then we cycle, 5 kilometres down the road and just set up tent by the side of the road. There's not much traffic going on. But of course, coming from China was summer, and then straight away going into Kyrgyzstan, because you're at that much more altitude, it's starting to get cold again. So we're sort of getting back into cold straight away again.
So you went from one
serious
climate
cold
to
too.
another climate.
Not too bad. I mean, there was, from that border, the next day we cycled all the way up this pass. So you ended up at about 3,000 plus metres. And then we camped the night, and we had a hailstorm that night. There was ice in the water bottles the next morning. So, yeah, it got cold enough,
What month was this?
This
May.
is, so May, June in Mongolia, July, August in China. So now we're talking September in Kyrgyzstan. So it's starting,
So
I
what's
guess.
that, autumn?
Yep, going into autumn now. Already.
Wow, that's a pretty cold autumn.
Well, at 3,000 metres, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'm looking at a map right now. So Kyrgyzstan, it's
Yeah.
Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
So here we are. So
Cool.
you've gone... Oh, my God.
You've covered quite a bit of
Where's Mongolia?
distance, haven't you?
Oh, there.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mongolia's back.
So here we are, Mongolia.
I didn't know
Oh,
this
and there's
until I
Ulan-
looked it up before too.
Ulaanbaatar, yep.
There we
That's
are.
where we started
Look how
from.
far you rode.
I know,
Look from there all the way to Kyrgyzstan.
With a 4-year-old.
And then you went to Tajikistan. Is that right?
Yeah,
No?
so
Yeah.
from Kyrgyzstan, you cycled through Tajikistan. So Tajikistan was the Pamir Highway. That was our sort of highlight, supposedly highlight of the trip, which it was, but, there were so many highlights.
Why is it so famous then? Is it a cool piece of road, well photographed?
Yeah, it's a pretty rough road. It's very remote, so there's not many people around, and the towns are quite far apart. And also, you get to cycle right near Afghanistan for part of it. So halfway through the Pamirs, you can head over into a valley called the Wakhan Valley. And the Wakhan Valley, once you're down the bottom, you're following a river pretty much all the way on the Tajikistan side. So on that side, you're in Tajikistan. Across the river is Afghanistan. And behind Afghanistan, you can see the peaks of Pakistan. Like the snow-capped peaks over there. So that was like quite a surreal experience as well.
Wow.
Sort of realising, that Afghanistan's just across there.
Yeah, there's
and of course, you do hear bad stuff about Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Well,
Isn't
any
that
town
where-
out without law and order, that kind of...
Isn't that where Osama
feeling-
bin Laden hung out for a bit?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
He did hang
did,
out
didn't
there
he?
until he got taken out in Pakistan, I guess. But, again, because we did have the opportunity to go to an Afghan market in a place called Horog, which is sort of like the capital of the Wakhan Valley, I guess. And, again, the people,
Yeah.
fantastic. All, you know,